Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of Ballet International and general audience of YouTube channel of Ballet International. This morning we have a special guest. I hope that I will spell the name correctly. Wathsala?
Yes.
Yeah, Mrs. Wathsala Rathnayake?
Miss Wathsala Rathnayake.
Okay. So she is now in India, but I think originally she is from Sri Lanka. Is that right?
I live in Sri Lanka.
Oh, okay. So now you are in Sri Lanka.
Yeah. And also my country is Sri Lanka.
Okay. So you are in which town?
In Colombo.
Wow, that's far, very far. So what time is it now?
It's 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Here
Yeah.
in Rome, it's 6:30 a.m. It's quite
Good morning. Early morning.
early morning. My brain is still in pajamas, still sleeping, but it's okay. I will make it. So, can I call you Wathsala straight away? Can I?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure.
Okay. So, how did you start dance? I don't know if you study ballet or other type of dance.
Yeah. I started ballet in 2019. I was 20.
And in which school did you go, and who were your teachers?
First, I went to Nelum Art Center under
Yeah.
Auntie Nelu for Piris.
Yes.
Then I went to Diana School of Dancing
Okay.
under Auntie Diane.
Yeah.
Then I learned from her two daughters,
Yes.
Mrs. Natasha Jayasuriya and Miss Natalie.
Oh, good. And
Then I learned from Miss Karin Vijayavardhana and then Miss Senani Gunathalaka and also my sir, Sagayan Rupagoda.
so you started at what age, you said?
I was 20.
20. So how
Yes.
was your impact when you started ballet? Because I mean, it's not when you start at the age of 10, it's completely different. So how was your impact at the age of 20 to undertake this study? Was it harder? Was it difficult? Did you find some difficulties also, with the physique in doing the stretching, in doing some movements?
Yeah. First, uh, I had some difficulties
Yes.
because I was late to study ballet.
Yeah, but what type of difficulties? Was it physical difficulties that your muscles were not quite elastic, more flexible, or was it because the technique was a little bit too rough in the beginning?
First, I was struggling from classical music
Yes,
because I couldn't read properly the music cues
yes,
and the notes.
yes.
I think the reason was I can't play the piano.
Ah,
I think when we start ballet,
yes,
it related to playing piano.
yes, yes. This helps very much for to have a better musicality in dance. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first difficulty in ballet
Yes.
for few
Yes.
months. Then technique.
Technique.
Uh, yeah, I started ballet from grade 6.
Yes.
So I missed the primary and basic technique.
Yes.
So I had to learn and I had to follow the technique, the primary and basic technique,
Yes.
uh, while I'm dancing,
So
while I'm learning.
you started with the preliminary basics syllabus of dance to learn all
No,
the
I didn't get.
yes. And so slowly, when you got more familiar with ballet, was it with the RAD or with Vaganova system?
Pardon, please.
Was the method that you were learning ballet, was it based on a Royal Academy of Dancing or on Russian dancing?
I did already ballet,
Yes.
and while I'm learning in Diana School of Dancing,
Yes.
I have got a great chance, a great opportunity to teach there as an assistant teacher.
Oh, good.
So I missed the basic technique now. While I'm teaching there for
Yes.
kids,
Yes.
I learn how to teach and how to learn together.
Good.
And there
So,
I,
so you made a double effort, not only in dancing but also in teaching, which
yeah,
is not easy to teach. Um, have you ever participated to choreographic dances and ballet productions?
not actually ballet productions, but
Yeah.
I choreograph so many contemporary work,
Yes,
contemporary dance work. I'm a contemporary dancer,
yes. So
not a professional ballerina.
yes, and do you feel more at your ease with contemporary style or with a classic ballet style?
I think contemporary dance is easy
Yes,
because it hasn't a structure,
yes,
but classical ballet is
yes,
worthy because it's a structural dance style,
yes,
and it's a bit hard to study.
yes. And so, because also I think the movements in contemporary dance, even if contemporary has a base, technical base, but is more free with the movements rather than classical, which you have to keep the shoulders or the hips in a certain way and the turn out. In contemporary, you have a little bit more, you have more freedom in the contemporary, I think. And
It depends on the
excuse me?
it depends on the dancer
Yes.
because if my foundation is ballet,
Yes.
classical ballet, then my contemporary dance work is related to classical ballet,
Yes. So
like that.
everything is linked with ballet technique if you are a ballet dancer, if you study ballet. And did you also had contemporary dance teachers?
Yes, I had the first teacher is Umeshi Rajendra in Sri Lanka and Venuri Pereira.
Good.
Then my uni teachers are Gan Rupigoda and Ms. Nirosha Vijay Gunasekara and Patum Dharmaratna and Indika Lakmal.
Well, you had excellent teachers. And
Yeah.
so upon your experience, who of the two teachers were more demanding, more severe, more vigorous, the classic one or the contemporary one?
Uh, I found my ballet teachers are so nice. They were so friendly and so supportive for me
Yes,
as a newcomer because I'm really new to ballet now.
yes.
And also my contemporary teachers as well, they are so supportive and friendly all the time.
Because usually the classical ballet teachers are more, severe, more, you have to follow the rules. Contemporary also, but they are a little bit more, they understand more the difficulty. The classical ballet teachers, it depends. It depends of the individual, but sometimes they want to see the things perfect from the beginning.
Yeah.
So, and you as a teacher now, how how do you place yourself as a open person who understands the difficulties because you had also difficulties. So you understand when a student or a young dancer cannot reach what you are asking. Are you able to help that dancer?
Actually, my ballet teachers were so friendly to me.
Yes,
When I make some mistake,
yes,
they came to me and recorrected me
mm,
really good way.
yes,
As that, as a teacher, I'm also doing the same thing to the kids because they're like lovebirds.
yes.
I like watering them. That's my pleasure.
And do you think that passing on the tradition of your teachers, do you try to add your own personality in the teaching?
Uh, there are some role models in teaching for
Yeah,
me.
yes,
Miss Karin,
yes,
I love her teaching methods. So I put some methods to myself when
yes.
I teaching, uh, like that.
And do you have sometimes a difficult moment in teaching in which the students might not get the right idea of what you're asking from the beginning, or they get everything quickly?
As a student,
No, you as a teacher, when you are teaching,
yeah,
do your students understand what you are asking, what you are requesting, or sometimes they have difficulties?
uh, I'm always working with the kids.
Yes,
Uh, they are I know to how to handle kids
yes,
uh, and how to teach them as they can listen.
yes,
Uh, so I don't find any difficulties with teaching the kids
yes,
because they are so friendly with me
yes.
and listen everything what I tell.
Good. And
So it's easy to
so,
tell every.
what is the average of age for the kids that you are teaching?
There were toddlers. Kids means age between 5 to 3 to 7.
And do you also teach to kids who are a little bit higher, between 10 and 15?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. And do you think you would be ready to do that type of teaching to a higher age?
Uh, at the moment,
Yes, or in the future?
I'd like to teach to highest level in the future,
Yeah.
but not now.
So you prefer to wait a little bit?
Yeah, because of my uni things and
Yes,
my ballet studies, because of my ballet studies.
yes. And have you ever tried to choreograph something for the kids?
Yes,
And how was
I have.
and how was the choreography?
Uh, I really like to work with kids. As I said before,
Yes,
uh, when I choreograph something, we have to tell some real story, real world stories to them.
Yes.
Then they can understand easily.
Good.
Then we can choreograph very well.
Yes. And how is the culture of ballet in Sri Lanka? Does the audience accept the classical ballet uh, quickly, or they have some difficulty understanding what is ballet, what is the discipline of ballet?
Yeah. In Sri Lanka, there aren't so many companies or so many classes or schools in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
It's a few of them. There are a few classes and companies here.
Yes.
Because of that, it's not familiar with the social world, with
Yes.
the people.
Yes.
So they are a bit difficult to understand ballet and the technique and
Mhm.
the stories what
Yes.
they are expressing
Yes.
and
And
the movement.
and do they accept also the contemporary style of dance, or they prefer the classical ballet?
Uh, I think they can understand contemporary more than classical ballet
Yes.
because in Sri Lanka there are so many performing artists
Mm,
more than ballerinas.
good.
That's the reason I think.
So they are locally from Sri Lanka. I mean, they are their nationality is from Sri Lanka, or they are foreigners working in Sri Lanka.
Pardon?
The people who are teaching in Sri Lanka, they are Sri Lankese, or they are European people who are teaching there?
Sri Lankans. My teachers will have gone to London
Yes,
to Royal Academy of Dance.
yes,
Then they come here and teaching.
good, good. And what what are your projects for the future? What would you like to see in Sri Lanka developing in the art of ballet and contemporary dance?
Yeah, I'd really like to, after my ballet studies, I'd really like to uh, do a ballet company in Sri Lanka
Yes,
because the Sri Lankan people don't have that much companies here
yes,
because I really like to teach them
good, good.
classical ballet because it's really, really worthy.
Yeah. So maybe you could start opening sort of performing arts school or academy in order that you
Yeah,
could have teachers and you could have a great number of students, and then you may choose from the students and create your company. And that would be a good idea, I think.
yeah. If it's a performing arts school, then I can do classical ballet and everything there,
Yes,
major as classical ballet. Because Sri Lankan can't catch till classical ballet.
yes,
They can't go away or they can't teach here
yes,
a lot.
yes.
So
Yeah. For instance, now I'm giving you an example. In Europe or in many other countries, they say that ballet is only for the people who are well off, and there is a certain elite that only people who have enough money can afford to pay the study of ballet because it's quite expensive. Now, how is the situation in Sri Lanka? Do people have difficulties in sending the children study ballet?
Yeah. In Sri Lanka, the same here.
Yes,
The same situation. It's so expensive
yes,
to go for a ballet class.
yes,
And I think in Sri Lanka, there are the rich or something like those kind of people, only those kind of people do ballet.
yes. But would you give the opportunity and the chance if you see a talented student who maybe doesn't have enough money to pay his studies, would you give a chance to some students to follow the classes, even they pay what they can pay, but you see that they have a lot of potentials and a lot of talent? Would you do that?
Of course, I do.
Because sometimes you find more talent in people who cannot afford than in people who got plenty of money. They sometimes don't have enough talent. So I think it is wise for ballet teachers to analyze also this, because ballet, yes, it's a business, but not a full business. You must comprehend the talent of young dancers and if they really love ballet. So I think
Yeah,
you are the right person to do that because you understand those problems, I
yeah.
presume.
In Sri Lanka, there are so many villages.
Yes. And how is the
They
society divided? Is it you have people who can afford this, middle way people, and you have people who cannot afford at all, or is it only high class people?
it's divided.
It's
It's
divided.
divided. The villages can't afford so many things
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
In that villages, there are so many talented girls and boys,
Yes.
so flexible because they have natural things to work out.
Good.
That's so nice.
Yes.
But they can't afford those classes. They can't come to Colombo,
Yes.
and because Colombo, the lives in Colombo are so expensive, the
Is it?
living cost. Yeah,
Mm.
I think in Sri Lanka, not more than the other countries, but in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
But village girls and boys are so talented. My dream is one day I will make a school and I will give free education to them.
Good. Good.
Ballet, classical ballet.
Yes. How is the Sri Lanka society? Um, uh, do they understand that ballet can be also for boys, or they make some difficulties? Because usually boys
Sri
are not
Lanka,
very well, they are not very well seen for ballet discipline. They are more for rugby. They are more for the strong sport, karate, judo, and but for ballet, sometimes people say no, it's only for girls. It's not for boys. So how is the society responding in that in Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka, most of girls doing ballet.
You have a very
Few
little
of,
number of boys then.
yeah, a few of boys do ballet, like 5 or 6, like that.
Yes,
In my schools, there are no boys, only girls.
only girls. Well, you have to encourage and make, because boys, they need a different program of girls. When you take a boy and you tell him, you go to do ballet, he will feel ridiculous in the beginning to make a class with girls. The boy technique is more based on gymnastic, more on athleticism, and it's much stronger as a technique because they need to work on the elevation, on the strength, and to build up muscles. So maybe when you will start having your own ballet academy, you could develop that and give the chance. And you never know, maybe one day you could have one of the best academy for boys, and that would help the society. Because also if you have a ballet company, you cannot have a ballet company only with girls. How can you do a pas de deux only with girls?
No, I give a chance to everyone, not only
Give
girls.
a chance to everyone. That's right, yes. And how is the government in Sri Lanka responding to the performing arts in Sri Lanka?
Uh, in contemporary dance as well, we are doing performing art things like work.
Yes.
Sri Lanka, more than contemporary dances, there are so many performing artists.
Hmm.
Uh,
And so how many hours do you work per day in teaching?
uh, one class is around 2 hours,
Mhm.
not more than 2 hours.
So one class is 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yes, it takes time because especially you waste a lot of time explaining the movements, especially with students, young students. So you have to be very patient, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time. Sometimes in
and I'm an undergraduate, so I have to manage my time to do everything
so, but you usually give class in the afternoons or in the mornings?
in the afternoon,
In the afternoons, and you start
the
at
evening, sorry.
evening, and in
Yeah.
you start at what time?
Around 5 p.m.
Yeah, and
to
you finish
7,
something like 7, 8, around.
sometimes we 8.
Yeah. So when you start preparing a little performance, you also do the rehearsals after the class?
Uh, can you please explain the question again?
So when you give the class, then when at the end of the year you make a gala, performance, you prepare the children for the performance. And do you prepare the performance after the class or during the class?
Uh, I didn't catch the question, so I'm really sorry for
I
that.
will I will repeat. So during the whole year, you
Okay.
you do the classes for the children. So
Yeah, I did.
yes, but at the end of the year, you either give exams or for the parents, or you give a performance, a ballet performance or the contemporary performance. Is that right? So do you make the rehearsals during the class or after the class? You prepare the performance
Uh,
after or during the class?
I divided my time
Yes.
to give some knowledge to them
Yes.
about the syllabus,
Yes.
and also in that time to rehearse.
Okay. And
And I will sometimes I will take some couple of hours after the class as well.
good, good. And when you see that there are some students who don't understand the movements, they have difficulty understanding the movements. because not all students catch up the idea of what you are asking during class. How do you make yourself understandable to the students? Do you find different ways to explain?
Yeah, some are living in their own world, like fantasy,
Yes.
and they're doing some of nonsense things. But they're so cute. But first of all, I get their attention to me
Good.
before the class. Then they always uh, watching at me, looking at me,
Yes.
and they have a sense, and I'll make a sense of them to understand everything and listen carefully.
Yes.
Then I can manage them.
Good. Good. And the how do you behave when you see that there are some children who are a little bit shy? They are not open, you know.
I
How?
I motivate them.
Yes.
Uh, I I tell them you're the best. I mean, not in front of all,
Yes.
but I'm going to that
Or them
girl,
separately. Yes.
yeah, separately, and I tell you can dance really well like that. I motivate them. Then they come to the front line and dance.
Good. Good. This is a good result. And have you ever had students who were in the corner of the class and were crying? They didn't want to go in the class, or everybody is confident that they go in?
From the beginning of the class, every day, some are a bit shy and a bit sad
Yes.
without parents. Before my classes, I I do some games before I start my class.
Mm.
Then they will adjust with me.
Yes.
Then they forget about the family and home.
Good.
Then they will okay with that.
So I think that also working with children, that brings you a lot of happiness to you.
Yeah, of course.
In a certain way, you as a teacher, as a young teacher, you drop yourself into a different world, because then when you finish teaching, you are in a total different atmosphere that when you started giving class, because giving class to young students is uplifting.
Uh,
I say,
can
when
you please?
you give class to children or to young students, for you as a teacher, it's uplifting, you know, it makes you dream. You are in a different mood. Also, you as a teacher, because when you finish teaching, then you return back into your own world, which is also different.
Yeah, it's so different because I have to act like a child when I uh, connecting with kids.
Yes,
After that, I have to adjust with my own mind and myself with the others.
yes.
Sometimes after some good classes, like my favorite classes, then came home and I act like a child. Then my mom recognized that, stop it, please, like that.
And how do your parents react when you come back from work and they ask you, what have you done today? What have you been teaching today? How do your mom and your
Uh,
react?
they don't ask what I did, but when I come and share something different things, like if a kid come and give some cards to me. They
Yes.
wrote something. Someone have written something
Yes.
to a card, drew me, and gave it. I go back to home and I talk those things with mom.
Good. Good.
They ask
Oh,
those things.
your mom is an angel for you.
My mom?
Your mom is acting like an angel, like a little angel for you. She is special for you, your mom.
Yeah, she's so special because of her.
Yes.
I started ballet because I used to talk about ballerinas and ballet movies.
Yes.
Then she asked me to start ballet.
Good. Good.
She
Yeah.
hasn't studied ballet, but she likes to do ballet. She likes me to do ballet.
And do you have any other sisters or a brother?
No, I'm the only child.
The only child.
Yeah.
And so, how was when you first started ballet, the first day at the age of 20, in the class, there were younger students, or you also found some other students who were your same age, 20 years old,
They all were younger than me.
or younger? Did they
Yeah.
accept you? Did they accept you willingly, that you were older and you were having difficulties?
Uh, First few days, uh, they were they didn't know I'm in 20s.
Yes. Well,
Uh, I was the newcomer, then they behaved like they didn't know me like that. But after dancing and everything, they were so friendly with me. Then
and
I didn't have any difficulties with the age gap.
yes. And are you still in contact with your friends who were doing ballet
Yeah,
with you? And
yeah. Uh,
what do they think about your work now?
Sorry.
What do they think about your work now as a teacher?
They appreciate, and before the before my before after I started the ballet classes,
Yes.
before teaching, they
Yes.
always used to ask about my other work, like uni work, their research, like that.
Mm-hmm.
uh, they're really interesting about the work what
Mm.
I'm doing, because not only the ballet, but I'm research about those kind of things,
Good.
all dances and movements. I'm a movement researcher, so I do my personal research as well. So
Yes.
they always asking those things.
Yes.
They like to ask.
Yeah. So to make a comparison between Europe and Sri Lanka. In Europe, you have the classical ballet, and also you have the character dance, like the Russian character dance. In Sri Lanka, you have, like in India, I think, you have character dance, which is typical. For instance, I take India. You have the India dance, who is different from European. So in Sri Lanka, do you also have your own culture of traditional dance?
Yeah, we have traditional dance called Candian and Low Country.
Yes,
And also, when I do already
yes,
ballet,
yes.
it consists of character dance. So
Character.
we did character dance as well. Yeah.
Good, good. And
And my basic, uh,
and how do the students respond to the character dance? Because it's totally different from classical ballet. how do they respond? Do they have more difficulties following the music tempo?
First, we have to follow the music
Yeah.
when we study.
Yes.
We have to follow the music first,
Yes.
then the style.
Good.
I didn't have any difficulties in character dance
Yes.
because we have to follow and we have to follow the movement and the music. No,
Yes.
then I didn't have any difficulties in character dance, to
Good.
be honest.
Yes. So, and after so many years, did you have the chance to work more on the music? Did you stu-
Uh,
did you study music? Did you study piano more now that you are older than when you were a child?
I still can't play the piano, but I have some music subjects
Yes,
for my studies, for my degree.
for your degree. Okay.
Yeah.
And for the class, do you use piano music only, or you use also other type of music?
Uh, we we use classical music, piano music, not other types of music.
Okay,
Only piano.
only piano. And also for
Yeah.
the contemporary dance?
No.
No,
Uh,
contemporary, you use other type of music.
yes.
So, and what type of music do you use in contemporary dance?
Uh, I use every type of music for contemporary dance.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Uh,
Not an exact music. I use a lot.
and do you find it a little bit difficult working on when you teach? Teaching one class of classical and then you start to teaching a contemporary dance class. Um, does your brain has difficulties from popping from one discipline to another, or from one type of music to another, or
Yeah.
you need some 10 minutes to to recollect your ideas?
I haven't done those different styles classes together
Yeah.
because of that problem.
Yes.
But some days I have to teach ballet.
Yeah.
Then I have to go to my uni and learn contemporary. It's totally different. Teach ballet and learning contemporary.
Yes.
Then I have to take some time to uh, calm myself first
Yes.
and to okay with my mind.
Yes. Yes.
Otherwise, I can't do that.
Yes. And in a little question, which could be also an important question. When, if one day you have your own ballet company, how, regarding to the ballet costumes, to the stage costumes, to the stage scenery, you know, um, is it, would it be very expensive as in Europe, or is it less expensive to prepare the costumes for ballet?
Uh, it's not expensive than Europe.
Yes.
Not expensive than Europe. It's bit affordable. Ballet costumes in Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
but there aren't so many tailors for ballet costumes.
Good.
They don't know how to make a tutu,
Mm. So
but some of them know.
maybe you could help those people to teach them how to prepare the tutu.
Yeah, sometimes we have to tell, please make this like this for the choreography. We have to give some additional information for the costumes,
Yes.
but those are not that much expensive.
Okay. And what about the ballet shoes? Demi-point and point shoes. So do you bring them from Europe or you have someone who create them in Sri Lanka?
There are some shops, not a lot, but a few shops in Sri Lanka which are um, imported
Yes.
things, yeah, which have imported things like point shoes and toe guards.
Yes.
But in Sri Lanka, it's so expensive. A pair of point shoes are so expensive.
Yes.
First, I started my point work. I
Yes.
didn't have a pair of toe guards
Mm.
because in Sri Lanka, shops sold off. So
Because
I have
also
to wait. I had to wait.
also a ballerina is using a lot of ballet shoes in 1 year time.
Yeah.
You need a lot of ballet shoes because your feet consumes the ballet shoes and you have to buy at least more than 8, 10 pair of ballet shoes. I mean, so it becomes quite an expense. Uh, but do you think you would be able to find people who can create the ballet shoes and make similar ballet shoes, point shoes as in Europe and sell them in Sri Lanka?
Uh, so can you please repeat the question because it's getting stuck here?
Do you think in the future years, that if you become artistic director of a ballet company, and do you think you would be able to find people or a factory in Sri Lanka who would be able to create, and Sri Lanka would have their own ballet shoes instead of importing ballet shoes from Europe?
In Sri Lanka, we don't have these kind of artists to make shoes as the same as real point shoes. We have to export from the import from the other countries.
Yes.
But if someone can do it, then we can hire
I think you
that person.
should try to launch this idea to find the people who can help you to promote this idea, because that also would help people in finding a new job. Because when you create ballet shoes, there are a lot of people who work. It's not only one person. So that would give an opportunity for people who are seeking job in creating ballet shoes. And that would also be a twin business for the ballet company to have their own shoemaker. So maybe in the future you could develop this idea. And that also would be a good thing for the population of Sri Lanka, because also I think it would be less expensive if you have your own ballet shoes than rather buying the ballet shoes from Europe.
Yeah, it would be a great idea.
But you have to analyze that. I just give advices, but I'm not the right person to analyze how is the real situation in Sri Lanka. You are the only one who knows everything about Sri Lanka. Uh, and do you sometimes have ballet companies from Europe coming to perform in Sri Lanka? Do you have ballet companies from Europe coming to dance and perform in Sri Lanka, opera house or a theater? Or...
Not yet,
Mm,
because the ballet companies are doing their own things in Sri Lanka,
yes,
not going out.
yes. But do you have an opera house or a theater?
In ballet,
No, I
or
mean performing the opera house, the theater. Do you have a theater in Sri Lanka?
yeah, we have some of theaters in Sri
Yeah,
Lanka, and in my uni it has.
yes. And do you think you would be able to create a ballet studio in the theater to create your own ballet company?
Yes, to give some chances to all.
Yes. Are there people who could help you in developing that?
Uh, for my future company, or
Yes, yes. In the future.
in Sri Lanka, there aren't any,
Yes,
because they are doing their own things. They can't help the others.
yes,
They take help from others
yes.
who are in outside. Then I don't think so.
Well, well,
There aren't anyone.
well, probably you will find something, in the future, uh, for you, the future way is very, very long. So you will develop something because I think that um, you are a very right person to do that in Sri Lanka, to develop new ideas, to develop a new program, to develop your own ballet company with your own status, with your own ideas. And slowly, slowly, you will build your own. So now you are very young and you have a lot of experience to face, to build up, but you are also a very clever person. So before you launch yourself, you think well what you do, and this is good for you because you're the type of person who who think well about the program. So I really wish for you to succeed in one day in the future to run your own performing art and ballet or the contemporary dance company.
Thank you so much.
So if one day you have a ballet company, would you make auditions for ballet dancers? In ballet companies,
Uh,
they do audition, they make exams to see and hire different dancers. Would you do the same also? You make audition or exams to see who you can accept?
yes, I do. Then uh, I can make a quality for that.
Mm,
Otherwise, no one think it's worthy.
yes,
So it should be there's an audition.
yes.
Then they can I can give free education for them if they want.
But I'm not talking about school. I'm talking about professional ballet company.
Oh, then it's really need to take an audition.
Good. And would you make also the same possibility, not audition, but would you also accept teachers who would like to collaborate with you in eventual ballet company?
Of course.
And do you have
Uh,
some teachers in Sri Lanka who would be ready to help you?
uh, in my school, there was a teacher who's from Japan and China.
Yes.
And also, I'd like to have some of teachers from different countries if they like to come.
Mm.
Then Sri Lanka, then we can contribute in ballet in Sri Lanka.
Good. Good. Um, I think we are reaching the end of our interview. Is there anything that you would like to say to the audience and especially to the people of Sri Lanka as encouraging message, either for parents, either for people who are also in this professional field of ballet, that you would like to launch as a message of hope and to young dancers that comes from your heart?
Yeah. First, I want to I'd like to thank you for inviting me here.
You're
And
welcome.
also, I'd like to people become a group of people like uh, who can find their own way to think.
Yes,
The very first thing is thinking. So is to think without competition.
yes,
So I want to tell be an overthinker beyond borders. Then we can be the best dancers.
exactly.
There's no more competitions.
Yes. Yes, well, you know, the ballet world is a big family. Everywhere you go, dancers are dancers, and either they are young or professional. The world of ballet is enormous, is immense, immense, and we all make part of one family. We have everybody is working every morning or in the afternoon. They make their own class with different teachers, and teachers are everywhere in the world, spread out in all the planets. But we make part of one family, and we are all united. We work for the same love of ballet, for the same love of art, and this is why I encourage people to respect art and performing art and be united. This is the idea of Ballet International. And I do hope that your interview today will make people realize that, and it is there to find young people like you and also people who are not young anymore, but to find people who think with the head and think with the heart. So this is essential, not only for ballet, but for the world of tomorrow, because we always think about ourselves. We are all a little bit selfish, but we must also think about the generation of tomorrow, because the world of today will belong to the young generation of tomorrow. We are going to disappear one day, as me, for instance, but I'm trying to build up something not for me, for the young people of tomorrow. This is important. So you are young, you have potentials, you have a lot of strength, you have a lot of positiveness, and you can build up something, and everything is in your mind, in your heart, and you will succeed one day, and maybe you could make of Sri Lanka performing art something outstanding. So it's up to you, because everything is in your hands. I'm sure you will succeed.
Thank you so much for your words.
So we have to end up our interview, and I will send you the link of YouTube on your email address. And as I do with everyone who participates to the interview, I usually send a sort of, little certificate that to prove that you have been doing this interview, attending this interview, but it's nothing special. It's just a little document that I do for the people to make them happy. And but I look forward that you should pass on the link of YouTube to all the people that you know that are working with you and are overseas, because they have to listen to your words, because your heart is a lighthouse.
Thank you so much.
Okay? So, Mrs.
Okay.
Wathsala, is that right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for participating to this interview.
Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Thank
You're
you.
an amazing person. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much. So have a nice day, and I think that in a couple of hours you will do class.
Not today.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.